Hey guys, welcome to another GBHL video. This is GBHL Steve and this is going to be another hobby vlog. In this video I've done a few bits but like nothing. I kind of had a bit of a strange period where I just started picking random things, and painting them or building them and sort of not sticking to my sort of planned timetable, if you like. A lot of stuff's gone on Facebook, so you may have already seen it, but I just thought I'd show you what's on my desk at the minute. There is some exciting things. I've got some things that I want to be doing in the next 3 or 4 weeks for the GBHL channel, which I need to speak to some of the other hosts about, so there'll be some massive hints, I suppose, about that in this video. So yeah, so let's get down on my desk and we'll have a look at what I've been doing. So here we are. One of the coolest things I've had on my desk over the last week or so is Smaug. I've finally got round to putting him together. I did start putting him together last year, and he I got the head together, attached the tail parts together and the body onto the legs, etc. and then put it back in the box and forgot about it. And I just thought, you know what, I need to get this done. There is some things that I want to do coming up where I will need him. There is a few people in Manchester who have a Smaug painted. Well, I could have borrowed, but you know, I've got the model. I thought I'll get it put together and I'll get it painted. So in future hobby vlogs, you will see more of Smaug. You'll see the journey that I take with him, with the paint job, etc, etc. So that is Smaug. I just wanted to show you because there was a few things. Putting him together is not the easiest thing in the world. It's quite difficult because you don't really want to stick him to the base, because then it'll be a pain to paint because of his wings cover everything. So you want him separate from the base. I did toy with the idea of leaving the wings off and painting the wings and the body and the tail separately and then putting it together, but I don't think I'd have the skill with an airbrush to then blend in the joins if I did do that and make it sort of look seamless. So what I've decided to do, I'm going to put Smaug together fully, but I'm going to leave him off the base, so that way I can turn him upside down and I can get underneath and things like that. I know you're not really going to see the underneath, but still, you want to have good practice when you're painting and try and sort of, you know, not just leave it dark and shade underneath. I want to get some detail in there. One of the other things that I'm going to try and do is magnetise his feet to the base, so he's not actually stuck to the base. And I do have an idea for a custom base that I want to make at some point, but that's going to be way down sort of after the summer. So I'll be magnetising him so he does come off the base, and that also makes it easier in game as well. So if I can take him off the base and I've got the base to move around, because he is very awkward to play on a table. So one of the things I did just want to show you, I was saying about him being difficult to put together, and the joins all over the model. There's 2 joins in the tail, as you can see, and the way that they've done it, where the joins are, I don't know why this has happened, and it's quite awkward to describe really, but obviously the width of the tail tapers thinner as you get to the end, but on the joins the taper gets wider on the joins and then tapers again. So if you could imagine, if I just stuck it together and left it as it was, there'd be like a lump sort of on each joint. So what you've got to do is when you put it together is you file it down, and I've got a couple of these, but this is just one, you know, one of the tools from GW, and you can scrape away sort of, or you know, you could use fine sandpaper just to get that bump out. And then I pinned it and glued it, and then green stuffed it. And one of the things, I don't know whether it's going to pick up on camera or not. I'll try and, it'll probably actually be easier to do it, to show you. Hang on a second. On Smaug himself, I'm in the middle of green stuffing him, so he's not finished at the moment. But what I'll try and do is, I don't know if you can see on the green stuff, I've got the texture of the scales. Can you see that? And the way that I did that is quite easy actually. It just come to me. Get your green stuff on, blend it in using you know, your finger or whatever tool you use. I use a mixture of this and one of these, I don't really know what they're called, the clay sculpting tools, but it's got like different size balls on the end, and I use that to thin out the green stuff, and then I use the clay shaper to sort of feather it into the to the resin. And once you've done that, what I then do is I just put some Vaseline on, and then I use an old cotton dishcloth, but any piece of cotton woven fabric will do. And obviously you have to lubricate it with Vaseline so that the cotton doesn't stick. But then if you press it onto the green stuff, it does leave kind of a very good, and it matches in very well, texture to the green stuff. And then if you let that dry, it looks like scales. And what that enables you to do, because you've been scraping where the joints are to get the bumps out, you're taking off the texture of the scales on the resin. So by doing that, you put it back, and I'm hoping that will blend in and look really nice. So I've got some more filling to do here, which is straightforward filling. It's quite flat there from the sort of like the membrane of the wings. There's some filling in at the back of the head there, but there will be some spikes and fins that go in there, so I'm going to see if that covers that, and it'll save me a job. Just little bits around here. I can probably use liquid green stuff for around the head to blend it in, and under here, and again I'll be using that technique, sorry, get on camera, under the chin, I'll be using that technique again, like I said, with the cloth to get the scaling under the chin. And yeah, that's it. Then there's all the fiddly bits like the spikes and stuff like that. I'm going to see these spikes at the end of the wings, I'm going to see if I can magnetise them, because I've seen a couple of Smaugs at tournaments, and everyone I've seen has been missing a spike or two from the edge of the wings because they're very fragile. Not ideal for gaming purposes, really. You know, they catch things like when you reach, because he's so big, like when you're reaching over to move things, you know, it just could just catch in your sleeve or on a jumper or something like that, or catch the edge of a piece of terrain, and it will snap off. So I'm going to see if I'm able to magnetise them, just to make life easier, and so that, you know, it doesn't get broken and I don't lose things, and also it'll be easier to transport like that. So that's the update on Smaug. I'll turn the camera off, get rid of Smaug, and I'll show you what else I've been working on this week. So here we are back, guys. Cleared my desk off, got rid of Smaug, and this is kind of what I've been working on this week and what's coming. Some of you may have seen on Facebook most of the stuff. There's a couple of things there that I've not yet put on Facebook. One of the things is Hilda Bianca, which I wanted to try out for the GT, so I converted an AOIN model. It was a very quick conversion and a very quick paint job, but I think it does the job. She doesn't look like a standard militia, so yes, it's not like she can be mistaken for anything. Fairly easy conversion. Removed the sword, drilled out through the hands, slightly repositioned the hands, put some brass rod through, and sculpted a spear tip from plasticard. And stuck that on there, and then obviously AOIN had short sleeves, so I had to green stuff some sleeves on, and the headwear. To get the headwear on, I had to cut away some of the hair and pop it on. Again, it was really quick. I wish I could have spent more time on. Maybe I will. I'll be honest, one of the reasons that I didn't want to spend a load of time on, and it's the same reason I've not done it with Percy, we've got the profiles in the new book, which kind of means we are going to get the models. And I've got so much on at the moment. I don't want to spend, you know, most of my hobby time, like a week's worth of hobby time, sculpting a model that I'm then going to buy in a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then not use again. So that was the reason. But I think it's turned out well. I'm happy with it. It looks good. So yeah. So that's Hilda Bianca. I used her in a game on Sunday against JT from Awkward Battles and Old Toby Wargaming, and he played a Galadrim Elven Force with Legolas and Gildor, and it was domination. I managed to just nip the game from him. I think it was 8-4 possibly. I may have won. And yeah, a special rule is cool. Getting that extra, the +1 to on your wound roll is really handy, especially against high defence. But it does really, 3 inches is quite a small area, so it is in and around her, and it kind of, she gets 1 point of might. She needs priority to get the charges in, because she only gets it on the charges, obviously. And and then you get the +1 to wound, and then you've got to win the fights. So there's a lot of sort of things that have got to happen before the rule comes into play, but when it did, it was pretty lethal, I have to admit. It was a cool rule, and she's only 30 points and she can lead more troops, so she's well worth having a go with. I really enjoyed using it. I think her special rule come into play on 2 or 3 turns, but in them 2 or 3 turns I managed to kill a lot of elves and Galadrim, and they're quite expensive, so it put a big dent in his force. So yeah, so it was worth it. Would I use her again? Yeah. Would I use her competitively? I'm not so sure. I may take her to the GT. I need another couple of practice games, so we'll see how we go. So that's Hilda. Another thing that I've sort of been working on in the background, and I've not posted anything on Facebook because it is a commission for someone, but now they've seen it and they're happy with it, and I'm going to get this posted off today, was a paint job. Now I don't normally do paint job commissions. Get this on camera. What I was asked, there's this and a couple of other minis which I'm doing. You know, the fella asked me, at first I refused, and then after a few conversations he talked me into it. Yeah, he's happy with it, I'm happy with it. I like how it came out. It's actually better than the one that I have. I'm happy with the paint job. My painting at the moment, I struggle to have patience with it. Obviously this is a commission, so I've not had much choice, so I've you know, done a lot more with the blending and you know, things like that, and the highlights and what have you. My stuff, I tend to wash it and give it a couple of highlights, done, just for time. But yeah, he's happy with that. I'm doing some woses for him as well, so once they're complete I'll post some pictures up, or maybe put them in a hobby vlog, but I don't think it's fair till they're complete and the customer's happy with them. Another thing that I've been sort of toying around with, there is a few more of these from the actual Iron Hills Dwarf poses that I want some that don't have the spear. I just want some swordsmen. So I've just been sort of messing around with poses and, you know, making plastic card swords, as you can see. That's not quite finished, but there's a few of them sort of halfway through being done. Another thing was I've got Bill the Troll made and complete, because I used him last year or the year before in a tournament. He's an awesome profile, but I've never actually used all 3 trolls, so I decided to start getting some paint on the other trolls. So I started with this guy again. I lost my patience with this and ended up just sort of dry brushing it, but it'll do a job for now. I started out properly shading, but it's just taking so long, and after doing the 2 Gundabad Ogres, which I took my time with that, I ended up just like rushing it, but there we go. One of the things you may have seen quite recently is the Tauriel and her Elven Rangers. It's Tauriel. I never ever sort of do the flowery bases, but I just thought I'll do it for a change. I had some bits and bobs. Let's try and get her on camera. I'm not sure how well that's coming up. I'm fairly happy with the paint job. Slight conversion. I did the bow. I think it was GBHL Damien who done that first off, because I'm not overly keen on the other pose. It's really cartoony. This is a much better pose, although she does look like she has size 12 feet. But apart from that, it's fine. I'm happy again. Like I say, paint job. It's another hero painted that I can drop into lists and things like that and use, so that's cool. One other thing I did want to show you with these fine cast hero models, you know, if you're not using the custom bases like Generation Shift does, which are awesome bases by the way. I've not done any here because, you know, they live in the woods. It was just like an easy sand and flock base to do. They're very light and they get knocked easy. This has got quite a bit of weight to it, and all I did, standard GW base, and I super glued a penny in. Now you could use a penny, you could use like washers, metal washers and things like that, but it just makes it so much easier. And like in the game, you know, getting knocked over, you know, sliding off things, just adding a little bit of weight to the base, dead simple, cost you a penny. You know, you can't go wrong with that, can you? So there's Tauriel. I also done some of excuse me, her elves, like I say. very, very basic colour scheme. I didn't want to go mad with the colour scheme, but I think it works quite well. It's strange holding up to this camera, but yeah, so just greens, browns, and like a more reddy brown for the leggings, with a few highlights, a wash, and that's it really. I was quite happy with how they turned out. So there's one. I'm not going to show you them all, there's no point. They're all the same. That's one of my favourites. Favourite poses, like with the bandana mask type thing. That's quite cool. That's that one. And then these ones. Again, I'm happy with how they turned out. I didn't want the greens or the browns to be too bright. I wanted them to be quite muted, darker tones, for more like a camouflage effect. And as you can see, we've got a casualty. She lost her bow for Tauriel to take it, so I need to replace the bow on that, but you know, that's a simple job that I can do at any stage. Now they're the stuff that I have either complete or I'm part way through to almost completing. Next on my list, along with Smaug, of things to do, is going to be 3 more Berserkers. These will be coming out of the blister today, getting washed, glued and primed. And then these lovely things, Dwarves and Bilbo in barrels. I've had these for probably about 8 months. I got these from JT at Awkward Battles, Old Toby Wargaming, at a discounted price, so that was fantastic. They're the kind of models that they look cool. You look at them, they look awesome. They're quite expensive, and I put off buying them for a long time. And then I just thought to myself, these are going to be the kind of things that if I don't get them, I'm going to regret not getting them. So you know, I just bit the bullet one time. I think me and JT were both at one of the Stockport tournaments, and I just said, "Have you got a barrels out of Bond?" And he did have one in stock, and I said, "Right, I'll have it." So yeah, so that's those. I'm going to get those assembled, cleaned and primed, and then they'll go on the to-do shelf. These guys actually jumped the to-do shelf. They were not on my radar to be done anytime soon. I just started painting them for some unknown reason. I don't know why. I've got much more important things to do way before they would have been even anywhere near at the front of the queue, but I don't know, it's one of those madness things that you have whilst you just sat there waiting for something to dry. You start prepping a model, then you start painting a model, which was Tauriel, and I thought, right, well, you know, I need someone to go with her if I do want to choose to play with her at some point. I had those assembled. I do have another box of Rangers, but they won't get painted for a while unless I definitely need them. I don't know if you've noticed the slight theme of my current builds, things that I'm painting, putting together. You know, I've got the Elves, Lake Town, Iron Hills, the Norman Mirkwood Elves, Legolas, Smaug, my Erebor Dwarves. It's all things from the Hobbit era. There's not a lot of Lord of the Rings things at the moment. There is stuff to come, but at the moment I'm working on the new stuff. And the reason for that is I really want to do some of the scenarios from the new book, and sort of revisit some of the older scenarios, the original Hobbit rule book. You know, I've got Goblin Town, I'm getting the trolls painted up, I've got most of the original Thorin's company painted. Still got a few to do, so I'm going to get them done also over the coming weeks. I've got all the champions of Erebor, they're completely painted, that's great. Bilbo, everyone like that, everything that I need, I'm sort of like going through quickly, just picking things out that I want to get done. And the cool thing about doing that for those scenarios is, like the Iron Hills, Mirkwood, Lake Town, these are the forces that at the moment I'm going to be using in tournaments, so it's like a, you know, a double-edged sword, so to speak. I'm getting 2 uses out. I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone, so to speak. So I'm able to do content for the channel, and also for Top Table Wargaming YouTube channel, and I'm able to use them for my personal gaming purposes in tournaments and friendlies, etc. So that's really, really good. So the next hobby vlog from me will probably be a couple of weeks off. Hopefully it'll be at the stage where I have started the paint job on Smaug, and there's another couple of cool things. I may drop onto scenario builds, not scenario, scenery builds, should I say. Maybe, again, I'm trying to build up one big video for my scenery stuff to do at the end, either leading up to the tournament of the Scour and Cheshire this year, or just after. I'll release a video with a lot of content on it. So we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. There will be stuff. I'm getting a lot of hobbying done, and I'm in between contracts. I've got a few little things to do at work, but I'm sort of in between bigger contracts at the moment, which is nice. I'm able to get things done. So there will be a lot of hobby stuff. So thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next hobby vlog, I think. So comment, like, share and subscribe. Support your hosts on the links below. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Support your Hobbit hobby, and happy strategy battle gaming. See you soon.